Epic Games' Tim Sweeney has been pretty vocal in his disapproval and criticism of Microsoft's UWP, that is Universal Windows Platform, and most famously described it as an attempt to create a Microsoft-controlled distribution and commerce monopoly. Now, despite Microsoft's various attempts to allay his fears and various statements made at Build last month, Tim Sweeney still isn't convinced, it seems, as he spoke about it once again at the Games Summit in California, where he likens the Windows 10 approach currently being undertaken by Microsoft to that of Facebook. Now, of course, Facebook was a lot more freewheeling back in its formative years, but of course has become increasingly locked down and more based on how much money you throw at it as time has passed as a page creator. And Tim said, quote, "Nobody is adopting UWP except a small group of developers Microsoft is paying to do so. It's the same with the Windows Store. It's mostly ports of Android titles. If you throw a frog in boiling water, he'll just hop out. But if you put him in warm water and you slowly ramp up the temperature, he will not notice and he'll be boiled. But a lot of frogs in the industry have already been boiled. Look at Facebook. Every company moved their brand presence to Facebook, sending out messages for their customers to receive. Now, you have to pay to send out your messages to people who choose to follow you. You've become a boiling frog." Now, Tim does believe that while Microsoft has spoken, of course, many times now about its willingness to maintain an open platform, it's still capable of slowly doing what he's accusing them of doing. And he went on to say, quote, "Microsoft has given itself the ability to force updates without your authorization. It will just update itself and you can't do anything about it. They change the rules of the game at any time. They can change, rather." Now, he was also keen to point out that most of the major breakthroughs on the PC gaming platform have not actually been spearheaded by Microsoft, but rather other innovators which have taken advantage of the open nature of PC. And he went on to say, quote, "The GPU revolution started there well before Microsoft adopted it. If they had relied on Microsoft initiative and Microsoft had actively blocked external drivers and apps supporting these things they didn't approve of, it never would have happened. The VR revolution that's happening now. There's no direct VR interface with Microsoft. If you tried to make it work with UWP system present, it would never happen. Open platforms encourage innovation, and when you have a closed platform and a monopoly on commerce, it stifles it." And he does have some pretty valid points that if we have a locked down PC platform like Tim Sweeney is envisioning here with UWP, then things like the GPU revolution and things like a direct VR interface with the Microsoft Store itself, it's just not going to happen with things locked down as they are. Of course, modding is of course severely restricted in Windows 10 with UWP apps, and of course the developer has to actually give you the option to turn VSync off, which is not something that should be saying, hey, we're going to allow you to turn VSync off. That should be going without saying at this day and age that, hey, you might want to turn VSync off because, you know, you might have a FreeSync or G-Sync monitor, or maybe you just don't want VSync on. Sometimes VSync causes more problems than it's worth. Sometimes it's actually better to force free a graphics card or some other thing. But developers have actually had to say that they're giving us it on Windows 10, like they're doing us some sort of favour. So we're already seeing the kind of things he's talking about just on a smaller scale than what he's referencing here. So I definitely think that Tim's concerns are valid, and that it is a little concerning and also kind of disappointing that we haven't really seen much done with the SteamOS. Of course, we've had various reports that it actually hampers performance of the few games that actually support it and a few other things. We need an alternative if Microsoft are going to go down the route that Tim is predicting. Hopefully they don't, because that will be better. But if they do, we need something else to turn to, because if it goes down the way they want, then we're going to be seeing a very, very different PC gaming space from the one we have now. So let's hope he's wrong, to be honest, but interesting comments nonetheless. Do let me know your thoughts and opinions on the whole UWP situation, as well, of course, Tim Sweeney's thoughts on myself. See merits to his claims and criticisms. It's obviously not as full-blown as he's saying here, but it definitely has the potential to become that, and I just really don't want to see that happen, because as I said before, a closed PC gaming space is definitely going to be stifling to innovation. If it's only Microsoft approved stuff, well, that doesn't sound like a very free space to try new ideas now, does it? But I'm more than willing to be proved wrong. I'd rather be proved wrong than right in this situation, so thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.